we're digging into the source material you sent over.
Yeah, specifically that BBC News live feed, the one reporting on that unfolding tragedy in India.
Right, the AirIndia crash near Ahmedabad. It's raw reporting, capturing things as they happened.
Exactly. And our mission today is really to unpack that look at the crucial info, the immediate aftermath, maybe some surprising details that came out early on.
And just grasp the scope of it based purely on what this source, this live report, was telling us in this first critical hours.
Let's do it. It's about understanding that initial shock and response.
Okay, so jumping right in, the core event, it's just horrific. An Air India plane.
Yeah, London bound. Crashes just moments really after taking off from Ahmedabad, Western India.
And the source specified the plane type, didn't it?
It did. A Boeing 787A Dreamliner and 242 people on board.
242. And the impact wasn't just the plane itself, it hit something on the ground.
Right into accommodation used by doctors, like a doctor's hostel, basically. Yeah, and there was that incredibly sad detail in the report about a woman whose son survived only because he jumped from a second floor window of the hostel.
Just because he happened to be there when the plane hit. Unbelievable.
Terrible luck for those inside. And the initial death toll estimates were, well, they were staggering right away.
Yeah, the source mentioned the local police chief reported recovering 204 bodies very quickly.
And this is important, the report was careful. It noted some uncertainty there.
Uncertainty about what, exactly?
Well, whether all 204 bodies were from the plane, or if that count included people on the ground in the hostel or nearby.
Right, which just shows the sheer chaos of the scene initially, trying to figure out the scale.
Absolutely. Overwhelming is probably the word.
And then, amidst all that devastation, the source highlighted something truly astonishing.
The report of a survivor. Just one.
Which seems almost impossible given the description of the crash.
It does. The police chief mentioned it first, apparently, and then Indian media quickly put a name to him.
A British man.
Yeah, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh. The report even mentioned his seat number, 11A.
And the source had some powerful details about him, didn't it? Gave it a human face.
It really did. Mentioned footage, reportedly showing him actually walking away from the crash site.
Walking away.
That's what it said. And he even showed his boarding pass to reporters on the scene.
Incredible. And his words, or what his family shared, paints a picture.
Very stark. His quote was something like, 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise. It all happened so quickly.
30 seconds. Just unimaginable.
And his relatives apparently shared him saying, I have no idea how I exited the plane. Just complete shock and confusion.
Understandable. His father described him having face injuries covered in blood.
Yeah. The source gave a little background too. Born in India, lived in the UK for years, wife and child there.
And even in that moment, his first thought
was for his brother, Ajay. Asking his father if Ajay, who was also thought to be on the flight, was okay.
That's heartbreaking. Really brings home the personal tragedy within the larger event.
It does.
Okay, so broadening out again, the nationalities on board. The source laid that out.
Air India confirmed it. Let's see, 169 Indian nationals, 53 Britons, 7 Portuguese, and 1 Canadian.
So a significant number of Brits. And sadly, the source started reporting on specific UK victims.
Yes, the BBC confirmed a family from Gloucester, Akhil Nanabawa, his wife Hannah Voraji, and their daughter.
Just awful.
Yeah, and the source included a quote from the Gloucester Muslim Society expressing just heartbreak, called it a devastating loss of life.
And as we mentioned, the impact went beyond the passengers, the people on the ground.
Right. Officials reported at least 50 medical students were hospitalized. Their hostel was hit.
And the source also confirmed the death of a prominent local figure who was on the flight.
Yes, Vijay Rupani. He was 68, a former chief minister of Gujarat from the BJP party. His death was also noted in the reporting.
So the impact was felt really widely. Students, a former politician.
Absolutely. And particularly, the source highlighted the impact on the UK's Gujarati community.
Because this flight route was important for them.
Very important. A popular direct link, London to Gujarat. The report actually compared the grief to the 2001 Bhuj earthquake.
That's a strong comparison. Shows the depth of the shock.
It does. And there's this one detail about someone sobbing on the phone because their cousin was on that flight coming for a celebration. Just captures the personal devastation.
Yeah, it really does. And UK politicians were commenting too.
Shivani Raja, the MP for Leicester East, was mentioned. She said she believed a handful of Leicester residents were on board. Talked about the community's horror.
So the human cost was becoming clearer and clearer. What about the immediate response? Airports, the airline? What did the source say?
Well, at Gatwick, where the flight should have landed, the scene was apparently quite eerie.
Yeah, so
Empty Air India check-in desks. Staff were there, but many other travelers arriving didn't even know what had happened yet.
a strange contrast.
Yeah. Gatwick did act quickly, though. Set up a reception center for affected families.
And AirIndia.
Their CEO, Campbell Wilson, put out a statement, expressed deep sorrow, said all efforts were on passengers, crew, families. Standard, but necessary.
Did they do anything practical immediately?
Yes, they organized 2 relief flights, one from Delhi, one from Mumbai, to get families and support staff to Ahmedabad. And they provided hotline numbers.
Okay, and AirIndia's owner, the Tata Group, also responded.
Very significantly, yes. They announced compensation 1 crore rupees per person killed,
Which the source translated as.
about 86,000 pounds. Plus, they committed to cover medical costs for the injured and help rebuild the doctor's hostel.
That's a major commitment right off the bat.
It is. Their statement, quoted in the source, was powerful. No words can adequately express the grief we feel at this moment.
So, alongside the immediate human response, the focus naturally starts to turn to why, the investigation.
Right, and the source highlighted that international help was involved very quickly.
The UK's AAIB.
The Air Accidents Investigation Branch, they formally offered assistance, said they'd send a team. They have expert status because British citizens were involved.
Standard procedure, but important. And the US.
The NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board, also said they were sending investigators to assist.
Because the plane was US made.
Exactly. The Boeing 787-8. So, under international rules, the NTSB gets involved, leads the US team. That cooperation is crucial in these situations.
Makes sense. The source also had a kind of summary later in the day, didn't it? Pulling together the known facts.
Yeah, around mid-afternoon UK time, it basically recapped it. Crash, moments after takeoff, your Ahmedabad Airport residential area hit.
The plane type, number of people.
Right, 78 and 78, 242 people. Reiterated the 204 bodies recovered, but still with that caveat about whether they were all from the plane.
Okay.
Mentioned the single reported survivor again, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, the hospitalized medical students, and the Tata Group compensation offer. A snapshot of what was confirmed.
And the descriptions of the actual crash scene in the source material sound horrific.
They do. Talked about seeing part of the plane actually sticking out of the building it hit.
Oh my goodness.
Smoldering debris on the roof, a wing just lying on the ground among burnt trees. Authorities bringing in heavy machinery already just conveys total destruction.
Yeah. And alongside all the official stuff, the source also captured these moments of public grief elsewhere.
Yeah. Mention prayer ceremonies. In Patna, Siliguri. People lighting candles. Communities coming together to mourn.
A human response. And there was one other reaction mentioned from the US president at the time.
Right, President Trump. He commented on it, called it a horrific crash.
Did he say anything else?
Called it one of the worst crashes in aviation history. And also reflected on the lack of immediate information, saying something like, nobody had any idea what happened.
An observation on the initial mystery, basically.
Yeah, and he added, it looks like it was flying just fine. The source was clear. These comments were made at a different event, just reporting his reaction as part of the news flow.
Understood. So, looking back at everything we've pulled from this BBC Live report, it really paints a picture of those first chaotic hours.
It really does. The sheer scale of the tragedy, the shock of where it hit, that almost unbelievable survivor story.
And the immediate response, airline, authorities, compensation, starting alongside the grief.
Yeah, and the very beginning of what you know is going to be a long, complex international investigation. It's a snapshot of overwhelming grief and the first attempts to make sense of it all.
Focused so intensely on the human side, the immediate impact.
Before the painstaking work of finding the cause really begins.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to consider. We heard about the suddenness. It all happened so quickly, the survivor having no idea how he got out.
Right, and even President Trump's comment, nobody had any idea what happened. That initial profound mystery.
So, given all that, what does it tell us about the huge complexity involved? Moving from that immediate shock and confusion captured in these reports to the incredibly detailed forensic process needed to actually understand how something so catastrophic could occur.
It's a huge gap to bridge, isn't it? From the immediate headlines to the final investigation report. A long road.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope the source material has given you a clearer picture of the immediate aftermath of this tragic event as it was being reported live.